I'm the HIV section head at MSD Merck. And in my role, I oversee HIV treatment and prevention, late stage global clinical development. So 8527, as you said, is an NRTTI. This is a novel class of antiretrovirals. It primarily inhibits viral replication through two unique mechanisms of action. So firstly, it incorporates into the reverse transcriptase and it blocks RT translocation and thereby preventing further incorporation of nucleotides into the nascent viral DNA. So this results in immediate chain termination. And then secondly, in the event that translocation does occur, 8527 induces a structural change in the viral DNA that results in a delayed chain termination. So together, these multiple mechanisms of action result in high potency and a high barrier to resistance, which may contribute to 8527's high efficacy. Lastly, I'll add that 8527 and other NRTTIs have a long half-life. So specifically for 8527, the intracellular triphosphate, which is the active form of 8527, has a half-life of 10 days. So this allows for extended dosing. And at the selected dose for our phase 3 studies, 11 milligrams, which is a low dose, we are predicted to be above the target efficacy concentration for prevention for a month. Great. So the expressive studies are the phase 3 program that we are really excited to initiate in the second half of this year. So there are two studies, which both are enrolling approximately 4,500 participants. Expressive 10 will enroll African women and adolescent girls, and then Expressive 11 will enroll people who have a high probability of HIV exposure globally in 16 countries. So these two studies are similar in their design, and they have a primary efficacy endpoint of adjudicated HIV infections compared to daily FDC-TDF. So this will allow us to demonstrate the preventative efficacy of monthly oral 8527. Yeah, so it's an exciting time to be in the field of PrEP because there are multiple options that are approved. When we were thinking about the expressive studies, we at Merck MSD, in discussion with our collaborators and also with the community, decided that daily FTC-TDF was a reasonable comparator for both studies. This was based on several reasons, but firstly, we thought that it was a reasonable comparator because globally, FTC-TDF is the most accessible standard of care currently. And then secondly, we thought it was most valuable to do a comparison of oral daily versus oral monthly, so oral versus oral. So to your second question, in the study, we are incorporating assessments of adherence based on PK for both 8527 and FTC-TDF. We acknowledge that these regimens, the efficacy is highly linked to adherence. So this is really important for the design of the study. It'll allow us to better understand with these PK assessments how adherence is impacting efficacy for both the daily and the oral prevention treatments. Yeah, so the team has worked on selecting the countries and the sites that have a population that we really want to include in the study. And those are the people who would most benefit from PrEP with the highest likelihood of exposure to HIV. So given the scope of the studies, as I was just mentioning, we think that most of the variables, as you just mentioned, are likely to be balanced across the different treatment groups. It's a one-to-one randomization. But just to ensure that we think the most important variables are balanced, we are introducing stratification factors that we think are potentially linked to efficacy. So for Expressive 10, we will be stratifying by the age of the participants. And then for Expressive 11, we'll be stratifying both by geography, by region, and also by gender identity.